Good evening, all, and welcome to the show. I'm Andycharger.
And I'm CarChris.
And welcome back to our live TT chat. So this is the first one we've done in about 6 weeks because everyone's been really busy with lots of things going on in the TT world. So how have you been anyway, Chris?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. You said everything's just been really, really busy at the moment, isn't it? Summer, things to do.
Absolutely.
Lots of car shows recently.
Yeah.
And stuff coming up as well, which we'll discuss during the show.
Yeah. And we've had loads going. I think we've done at least 3 shows in that time, if not more, I think, between us. And but so we've got a couple of special guests with us tonight, so we might as well drop them in. So all the way from Ireland, we have Mr. Stephen Harper. Welcome, Stephen.
Hi all.
How you doing? Get off my catchphrases.
How are you, Andy? How are you, Chris?
Yeah, we're all good. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, mate. All
good.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, good. And also, all the way from sunny England, we've got Mr. Dom Parrott from the Parrott Bros. Dom, how you doing?
Hey everyone, you all right?
Yeah, good. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
So we've, I guess, other than Stephen, we've all sort of seen each other in some way, shape, or form over the last couple of months. So, so guys, if we'll talk about the stuff we've had going on, but if you've got anything you want to raise in the chat, obviously we've got the chat going this evening. So I can see Chris Johnson's on and Chris 225 and also Cy Pigeon Guard Games. How you doing, guys? I know that we've seen some of you guys recently as well. So, yeah, I guess Chris, starting with you, I guess. What have you got going on the TT at the moment?
Just done the headlamps on the weekends. Absolutely buzzing. They look absolutely midnight. So that video's coming out tomorrow.
Okay.
Honestly, mate, they are the nuts.
Yeah, I think we've all had a go at it in some way in the past. I think, and from varying different degrees of success. And I saw some headlights on Friday. I think Dom and I were at a meet on Friday in up in Essex. With a load of lovely TTs, and there were some cars there that had their headlights actually professionally refinished, and they do look like brand new headlights. But I'd say yours, Chris, from the pictures I've seen, they are rivaling the finish on those. I think they do look.
Yeah, honestly, mate, they do look brand new. I proper lacquered them. I didn't use all that rubbing compound. I sprayed them.
Yeah, so you can get in the kits normally. I've got a kit like an auto glim kit or someone, and I think it's almost got like a finishing liquid you rub onto it. Well,
that's it.
I always think, well, how much is actually going to absorb into it, and it's going to wash away, and then 6 months later you're going to have to do it anyway. So the way you've done with lacquering, that seems to be a popular way of doing it.
It gives it a proper sort of like hard layer, then, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's just like lacquering your paint on the car.
Yeah,
and the stuff I use is like proper like UV protection, anti-yellowing, and all that sort of good stuff. I mean, I used the plastic X stuff in the past, and that's always been pretty good. But as you said, a couple of months, and they start dulling down. You know what I mean? The more you wash your car, every time you clean the headlamps, it probably take a little bit off. And then you're back to square one again. I sort of wanted to do more of a permanent sort of fix on them. Like, do it once. But I literally sanded it all back through different grades with my DA machine, and then literally just sprayed them. And I couldn't be any happier with them.
And I think you've done the little reversing light as well, have you not?
Yeah. So I've done the quick fix on that. I did that with the plastic X after rubbing that all down, to make it go more red, because it goes quite whitish after a while. But I've noticed that not all the TTs seem to do that. Some of them still seem quite red, like yours, Andy, is still quite nice. And I see other ones where it does sort of dull down, that like little patch sort of thing on the fog light.
Yeah. Dom, would you say that those headlight or those rear lights, are they made out of different materials? Because there seems to be an awful lot of variance over all the different models. What do you know?
Yeah, I genuinely don't know whether it's how they fared over time, because I've had obviously a few sets. Some have been horrific. Some I've done a machine on. But to be honest, I think most end up being bad. I think a lot of them, and I know this is simple, but I think a lot of them, where they've been reversed against the house, the sun's not on them as much. I know it sounds stupid, but it's...
Yeah.
You think most people reverse onto their drive and they're near the house. You tend not to have the sun on it like the front of the car would be.
Yeah.
And it's obviously, I don't know why. And a lot of them actually have a company used to make a sticker that you literally just sort of rubbed it down and slapped this clear red tinted sticker on. So a lot of them have got that and they don't realise because it's so thin. But no, they don't make them anymore.
Yeah, that I always say some of them look like there's something. There's like an actual layer over the top, like a little oval.
Yeah, is there
sticker.
actually a sticker or what is it?
It's weird. It's weird.
It's just a second. It's like they mold it and then they make it ever so slightly domed. So it's still the same, but it's because it's two pieces of plastic. That one heats up more than the other one dissipates the heat.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it's still technically one, but
yeah. I mean, I must admit, I did spray a little bit of that lacquer over it again while I was doing the headlamps. I was like, you know, saying while I'm there,
why not?
Let's just give that another little rub off and spray a bit of that on again.
Well, there also looked, from what I could see from the rolling road, there wasn't many opaque lights at that. They all seem to be in pretty good condition, all those cars, Dom. I mean, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience on Saturday? It looked amazing.
Yeah, that was, to be honest, there was a real nice mix of motors, like especially there's a couple, obviously you guys know because you'll be on Instagram, you chat with people on Facebook, whatever. There's a few cars that I'd spoken to the people like Chris Johnson. Obviously we chat all the time, but I've never met him. And that green one, I've chatted to the guy, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 times. And I've been wanting to see it because that colour, just the depths on it was unreal. Yeah. And obviously we go through the journey, don't you? They discuss suspension upgrades, you discuss engine upgrades, they ask you advice, you discuss sort of better options and whatever. And then you actually get to see the car and meet the person. It's kind of weird because obviously they're used to seeing us, but we're not used to seeing them.
Yeah.
But no, it was mega. I mean, we went from a couple of basic cars. Bryn bought a 50k 2-owner untouched engine car, right up to Jermaine's G30 flipping nearly 700 horsepower absolute powerhouse, which is dailies.
Sideways.
Fastest parcel force man in England. And just everything in between. But I think all the people that were there, they're not your run-of-the-mill TT owners. They are enthusiasts like us, people that obviously strive to better their car. The Kingfisher Blue one was on Car SOS, I think it was. He's either Wheeler Dealers or Car SOS. And he bought it for 900 quid. Now, I don't doubt that he hasn't spent probably £20,000 on it. But obviously, it's nice to see cars like that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So he bought it for £900 after Car SOS or before Car SOS?
I think it was Car SOS or Wheeler Dealers. I'll ask him because I can't actually remember. But he was telling someone else, and I thought, you know, when you're walking around filming over.
Yeah.
Is that the only one I can? Yeah, the only one I remember of Wheeler Dealers is that one that's got the broken gearbox. And the one, and he goes down to see like someone like Devon or Cornwall. He drives down to get it, and he gets it for crazy money. But obviously, it's a fair few years old, that one. It's about 500 quid he gets it for, and that's got the old pixelated dash that everyone seems to have. But I found that I had my pixelated dash done on my Roadster, and I've noticed in the warm weather, the new screen, it doesn't appear as bright. It seems almost like cloudy. It's quite strange. So
mine's the opposite.
Is it?
Yeah, mine's glows in the dark.
Oh,
so bright.
Really?
It's almost too bright. It's annoying.
If I bring
there's a filter that you might put on, isn't there? There is a filter that you, like a little piece of film that you put on to darken down if it's too bright. Yeah. But I never heard of going the other way around. That wasn't bright enough.
It just looks like it's been in the sauna. That's the only way I can describe it. So the background looks quite, because obviously when it's quite cold and it's, you know, you've got like the really nice dark red background and then there's sort of like the orangey lights on it. But it seems to be like the background's quite orangey. So I think maybe I haven't got a particularly good screen on it, but I did have it done by a professional person. But there are obviously other people in the market that I might need to take it to and see what their thoughts are, because I did get a few fingerprints on the, not me personally, but obviously when it was done, there's still a few fingerprints on the inside, which is not what you want when you get your dashboard back. And it's
you don't have much luck, do you, when you get other people to work on your car and do your bits and bobs?
Exactly, yeah. So maybe I should do more work myself.
Yeah.
But hey ho, never mind. So we obviously had since we were all together last, we had Springfest as well, which went really well. So I think
just want to say, Andy, well done for doing that, for hosting that. That was amazing. I wasn't there, but after seeing 3 videos of the same thing, I did feel like I was there. It was absolutely brilliant.
It was a good day, I think, guys, wasn't it? I think we had a really good day, and loads of great cars, and we had a mixture. We didn't just have Mark 1s there. We had a couple of Mark 2s. I think Phil Bowes brought his one along, and there was There was, and obviously Sean Clegg brought his convertible along, and we had a couple of Mark IIIs because Rappy was there, star of
So
the crew, yeah. Evening Rappy, if you're out there with your Mixing with the Stars, he's probably at some opening of some film tonight. I would have thought with
yeah, we're not calling
Lisa Mafia in tow, and then obviously Ingenia as well. She brought her car along, which is always looking great. So it's always a nice car to see as well. So, but it was predominantly Mark Ones, wasn't it? And a lot of faces that we recognise, but people that had come a fair old distance as well. I think Craig had come down from 260 miles from Hull, I think he'd come, and we had a guy that came over from all the way over from Somerset as well, and we had obviously you came up from Dorset way. So yeah, it was a great mix of cars, great mix of people, and yeah, I think we'll definitely be doing it again, but we might be doing it. Well, we'll definitely be doing a Springfest here. But we might also be doing something in the southeast on a little bit bigger scale that we're in talks with at the moment. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that next year, guys, as that will be coming up. But what about you, Stephen? What have you been doing in Ireland other than cutting hay and silage and things? What have you been doing?
Well, the harvest and the farming has taken up most of the time. But yeah, like there's every Sunday there's a car show and somewhere. So I managed to sneak the TT into a vintage car show. That was the highlight of one of my trips. Yeah, there's been loads of just different car shows on, and either bringing the Golf or bringing the TT to it. And what really surprised me still is even if you drive up, like so the rule in Ireland is it has to be 30 years. That's vintage. Anything before that, it's not vintage. You rock up in the TT, and they're like, "Come on in, just come on in," because like they are such a unique, iconic car, but they just stand out. So like just said, rather than parking in the car park, come on in and just park in the showgrounds. Like, so like I'm always happy with that, but like it is pretty cool. Yeah, like I haven't, so like the last time I was on this, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do the AC and I'm going to get the dash done because mine's pixelated as well, and yeah, that still hasn't happened, so still on the long finger.
Oh wow. I'm sure you'll get there. We still need to arrange coming over to see you at some point.
Dude, definitely come over.
We'll wait till your harvest calms down a bit first, I think. But yeah, but we've also got a meet coming up this weekend that Chris has kindly sorted out as well at Ockham Bites. So we will, and that's proving really, really popular. I'm expecting there to be absolutely tons of TTs on show on Sunday. I think you guys are all chatting about it at the moment in the chat, and I see that Chris Johnson, you're talking about where we're going from. Well, I'll be coming from Kent, Chris. So I'll drop you a message offline, and we'll see if we can hook up along the way, maybe. And yeah, I think obviously, Chris, you're quite local to there, and I imagine Dom,
about half an hour away from me, so it's not too bad.
An hour-ish for me.
Yeah, so we're.
It's a wicked venue. I'm quite looking forward to you all getting there. It's just quite a nice back end, rather than just a normal car park somewhere. It's actually a bit of a backdrop, for some nice photos and a decent facility for food and that.
Many trees around for drones. Or...
Mate, literally, all there is trees. All there is trees. No drones.
No drones. I won't be bringing
drones. Unless you want to do a straight up in the air job.
Yeah. And I think we'll. I think we did quite a bit of drone footage, didn't we, at Springfest, and we had some good overhead shots. It's always great to see the cars from above, particularly if you've got a lot of them, because it makes you realise all the different shades and colours, and it's it looks like it's been filmed from the Audi parking lot of 1999 or something like that. It's great. But yeah, I think we've. So what's that? Yeah, so I see some people talking about. Yeah, obviously we've got Quattrophenia coming up as well. And a few people were talking about that on Friday. They were saying, "Hey, what's this meet coming up? The London to Brighton meet?" And we said, "Well, we're doing London to Brighton. We're doing Wandsworth Common to down to Brighton Seafront on the 10th of September. So that's definitely we'll say once we've got this weekend out the way and we've chatted to you, come and talk to us on Sunday and we'll fill you in the details. But I think we're going to head off about 9 o'clock from there and mosey on down to the seaside for a stick of rock and some chips and a fight with the Rockers. I don't think they do that anymore today. So 1960s that is. But yeah, so guys, if you've got any questions in the chat, well, we've got all these experts on tonight. So if you've got any sort of problems going on, only things I've really been doing recently is I resprayed my bumper badly, which taught myself lots.
I think you did a good job on it.
Oh, you haven't. Oh, Dom will concur. You haven't seen up close. So it was great until the lacquer appeared, and then that was it. Love Island was on, and I had to get back to seeing the adverts. And that is a true story. But
the problem is with a job like that is you're only as good as whatever bit you're doing. You know, you could do all the prep, you could spend hours getting it perfect, and then all you got to do is just act too slow on your line or go a bit heavy, or I ain't got the patience for painting.
I hate painting.
That's why I won't lacquer my headlights.
We lacquer my headlights look the nuts though. The wing mirror didn't come out too bad. I think it was more let down by the old Chalford's colour though. It looked more orange than red.
Yeah, I think paint manufacturers got a lot to deal with it. But again, certain cars look different. We talked about that Friday, didn't we? So depending on what colour car you're painting, it can look horrendous. So certain colour cars can look very sort of multi-panelled. We won't say what colour cars they are, but certain cars are.
I own a couple of them.
Yeah.
Andy, honestly, I think you did a good job. Like a few things you have to remember is like you're painting probably a 20-year-old car. So although if you get the exact shade of silver for that TT, that's been in the sun, it's been baked on, oxidized, everything has happened to it. So it'll never be quite. If Audi say it's this silver, your physical car is no longer that silver. And the other thing I spotted was you should always start the spray gun away from the actual thing that you're about to spray, so you have a little bit of waste before and afterwards, and just do continuous lines in one sweep. I think you were coming over it, and then you're going to say like halfway across, and then starting again for the next piece halfway across. You do from one side all the way over to the other, and it's just long straight lines.
So I back in the day when I was painting my Mark III Escort in Sunburst Red, it was actually quite good in those days. But obviously now it's things have changed, or maybe I've forgotten how to do it. But I totally agree. There's a lot of people have pointed out things I did wrong, which is what I'm always happy to share what I do right and what I do wrong. And that's why it was more. It's not a you should do it this way. It's more of a this is what I did, and you can see the mistakes.
Well, on the other side, it turned out silver, not pink. So like you're winning straight away. Like,
well, the way I look at it is, it's not flaking. It hasn't got a big crack going through it now. So I'm not too worried about that. Oh, I see that Size asked, interesting going to Badger 5. What's it all about? What do they do? Well, you're about 3 days too late for the TT event, Si. But I'm sure there'll be another one coming up. I think, Dom, that's not the first one you've done, is it, down there? Oh,
Dom.
Has he lost audio? Has he got Coronation Street on? Dom, can you hear us? Dom, can you see us? Hear us?
Dom!
He's lost audio. Can you hear us? Have you run out of batteries?
If we all just wave, like.
Yeah.
Nothing.
All right. Turn it off and turn it back on. Maybe drop off and come back. See if that might work. Sorry about the technical hitch, guys, but I'm sure it'll be resolved shortly. Maybe it was attached to my spraying. I don't know. But that was another reason. So if you've, I don't know if you've seen my video this week I've done on my top 10 sort of tips for owning a Roadster. But that's why I kept it away from the rear bumper too much when I was filming. I was like, oh, there's a lovely angle from here. Lovely angle from here. It looks really nice. Don't look at the back. So but it is quite interesting. The more that you own these cars, someone mentioned in the comments of it, you forgot the little sun visor, the little hidden sun visor on the car.
That's right, yeah.
But the Coupe's got that, and the Roadster. So that was more a video around what the Roadster's got really that was unique to the Roadster, and there are quite a few differences. A bit like that little, if you run out of battery, you need to open your boot on the Coupe. The good thing is you can always fold the seats down and climb in the back if you need to. But if you want to open it, obviously you've got to take that little bit off the center console and where the cup holder is, and you've got to unbolt that, and then you pull the little loop. But at the same time, on the Roadster, you've got like a little handle for it in that compartment, which is great. So you
I like that handle. I think that's better. That's better than the Coupe, isn't it, that little handle?
I'm surprised that they don't have that. I mean, it's not such a big issue, is it, on the Coupe if you can't get in the boot, because you can actually access it through by folding the seats flat or climbing over your rear seat delete if you haven't got a seat. But obviously in the The Roadster, if you can't get in the boot, it's a locked, it's a locked issue. So it's good having that handle so that you can get in there, which is quite good. I think there's also a little handle in the boot for the fuel cap release.
Fuel cap,
there is,
yeah. But I've got a few little jobs I've got to do this week because a rat has eaten through my rear number plate lights cables. So it was very I'd actually wired it up for the meter on fire because I was driving back in the dark. So I had put some wire into it, but it was a bit of a don't look at it. It's working. It's not going to catch fire because it was all well and truly insulated. But I'm going to do a nice job of that and rewire all that.
I assume the first job is to get rid of the rat, though.
Well, I'm hoping the rat's gone. I've not seen it, but when I first took the rear wheel arch liner off the car, maybe 2 years ago, there was a nest in it, and I did put it in a video. And look, there seems to be a nest here, and I said, the birds have been living in here, and someone said, no, that's a rat's nest. Birds don't live like a foot off the ground in TT. So but hey ho.
I had a little mouse in the workshop the other week. I see this thing just walking down, thinking, "Oh no, please tell me I haven't chewed anything."
It hadn't, had it?
Everything seems to work still, so happy days.
Okay. I see a few people in the chat are asking about each other about what power they made at Badger 5. So, was there anything that really shocked you about that, Dom? Was there anyone that you thought
there was?
Wow,
there was a few underpowered, which was interesting, which is kind of is why you go for a rolling road. I mean, one made about 20 horsepower less than it should. It had a few issues. The guy was saying to me, "Do you know Simon Matthews, the one?
That's the one with the really bright light on the rear reversing light." Yeah.
So he came and he said his car was spiking. We've been talking, and I told him it's probably his N75. And he put it on the rollers and made 227, but it's got a really moody, spiky map.
Right.
And he didn't know it was mapped. And as soon as it hits boost, it goes up to like 1.8 bar and then just shuts off because it's over boosting like crazy. And Bill was like, "Yeah, don't drive that too hard because it might not drive for much longer." He's sort of like,
the rods might say goodbye.
Yeah, can I book in for a map? He was going to book in for a map anyway.
So like, say like sorry, Dom, just say like an unmodified 225. Like, were they exactly getting 225 horsepower, or were they?
Yeah, I mean, Bryn's
how
made
far away were they from? Okay.
So it was steady. I mean, let me get I've got a picture of the figures.
Do we know if you say you had back in the day? So you've rolled all these TTs off the production line, and say a year down the line, would you think you'd still be expecting to get 225 on every single one out of that, or do you reckon they're all going to?
So it was 225 PS, wasn't it? So it's sort of like 221 horsepower.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to allow for things like old maths, bad O2 sensors, slight boost leaks, weak actuators, all the little things that could. But I mean, if you drive it, the problem is a lot of people buy a 225, buy a 180, whatever, and have never driven one. So as long as it gives you a little bit of that in your seat when you put your foot down, you think, "Oh, that's all right." And then, like, I obviously am a prolific TT buyer, so I have loads, and and obviously I drive all different ones, and every single one of them is different. Like the Noggy, that's map, that's like 270, 275 brake. I think it made 277, and that feels slower than one I've got that's not on the channel yet. And then the silver one, which is completely stock because it only asks for a bar, that seems as fast as the Noggy. So. It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
And obviously the power delivery, like some standard cars are quite. Have you guys? Chris, yours isn't standard, is it? Is it mapped?
No, it's mapped. It's
I
don't know. I hate the map on it.
I'm completely standard. Both of them are completely standard.
So it's still quite punchy, isn't it? Like the 225 still gives you a bit of a throwback. So sometimes it's hard. I mean, when it's mapped because obviously you literally just. Sort of, you know what I mean? It comes in all or nothing, especially if it's had like a Revo or something, because they're really horrible.
Yeah, so mine's got a Revo. I hate it. It's got stage 2 Revo. It's a piece of shit.
You feel like you touch the pedal and it just does 100%, doesn't it?
Yeah. I can remember
you got to drive and you got to pull away, and it's sort of like.
Yeah. But then it just runs out of puff so quickly, though, as well. Yeah. You get that big initial, like, boom, and then, like, not really a lot after that.
before yours was road legal, because obviously it hadn't got an MOT, I came to see you, didn't I, when you was parked up and you were working on it. And you just gave me a little run around that private car park to show me the sort of performance of it. And I was, and you said, oh, it's mapped and it's got like a map on it and it's had this done, that done. And you just put your foot down across that car park. And I was astounded at the difference between because I always thought when I bought my Roadster, and I'd not had one before, and I bought my Roadster and I drove my son back from South Indian. We gave you a little bit of a squirt on the M25 and acceleration. And I was really surprised by it. And then I bought the 3.2 and I was like, oh my God, that's like a completely different way of power delivery. Wow. It feels so much quicker. But then, and I said to you, didn't I, Chris? I think my Roadster, it feels a bit sluggish now. But I've got back in it and I drove it. I've really driven it for the first time last week, basically because I didn't have a car on the drive and everyone else had my cars. So I thought, well, I'm going to take it out and give it some miles. Now it's over 80,000. And I was pleasantly surprised. It's still, you put your foot down and it goes. It really does go. So I think it's probably weather dependent as well, like we said before, because in the hot weather it doesn't like it, although it was pretty hot last week. Yeah. But it definitely that, without a map, I think it still feels quite punchy. Like Dom says there, if you've not driven one before, then you're going to think, oh, it's really quite quick.
Plus the power delivery is different to your V6.
Yeah, totally. Totally different.
The V6 is really linear, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's naturally aspirated when you're not spooling up a turbo, like.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's almost like the V6 feels like the turbo does but all the time. Is the way I describe it, because that with that, if you put that in sport mode, that car, and I know that you touched on that when you took Alex out and you Dom in the car, and I think he was pleasantly surprised by sport mode. I think
he literally just went bang, floored it. It was just like
He quite liked the DSG box, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, it's honestly, when we stopped filming, he was like, I might buy one.
No.
It's always good to watch the passengers' reaction in those sort of videos, I think. So when he was driving, I was really watching your reaction. Your eyes were going.
I was looking for engine lights. That was all. I don't care about the speed he was driving.
Yeah, no, that's that's another great comparison doing between the manual and the DSG. I'm gonna touch on some of those manual and DSG and other little urban Addicts myths at some point and banish those demons from everyone. I had a bit of a discussion on Facebook with some guy that was basically telling me I was wrong over it. I said, well, the stats don't rely on the numbers that are left on the road and how they're rare and that sort of thing. And like, they're the stats, but okay.
And Andy, you were looking at one stage to do a stage 1 or.
No,
to get yours remapped, were you?
Do you know what? I keep saying this. I'm saying I'm going to keep them both standard, both stock. I'm not going to do anything to them. And I keep thinking, does a set of hoses count as any modification? Does an air filter count as a modification? And it's been like, oh, should I upgrade the brakes on it? And I just keep thinking of lots of things to do. And I think, no, I'm going to keep it completely standard. But and then I think, and I go to a few. Yeah, and I see the meets, and I've got people and their cars are sitting down, and they've had space on them, and their wheels are sitting lovely and flush with the edge of the arch.
You've got to do spaces, Andy. Anything that you can easily take off, I think that's okay.
I know.
Exactly.
I know. I don't want to go down that road though, because it's that road, the road of no return.
Spaces. You can always take them off if it bothers you too much.
No, I don't think it wouldn't bother me because I think they do look great. Cars
they do look better with spaces.
Yeah. And even when they're to me, I mean, I think whatever people do with their cars is great, because it's all about people enjoying their cars. But I think if you can, maybe taking some of that height out, so they just look a little bit lower, so it sits a bit where I think it should look. I think that looks great. But I wouldn't want to go so it's the wheels are up under the arches and they're all like staggered and things like that. But I think you're dropping it a little bit, maybe a set of spaces, No, Simon, I can't remember hearing this. No, you're right, Si. Talk me back round. Don't let me get down that road.
Andy, spacers are the gateway drug. Like, you start getting the spacers, and then after that, it's like different wheels, with different interiors. Then like, I might just like get the exhaust to get a nicer sound.
What's the standard on? Is it like 15s on the front and 20s on the back? Is that what everyone goes for? Is that the standard sort of?
That's it. 15s on the front, 20s on the back. That is pretty standard what people go for.
Yeah,
that's what I've got. I think you do it as well, don't you, Dom?
Yeah,
Is he gone again?
I have. Yeah,
he's still
all of them. Yeah.
Get off Tinder.
Someone's asking me questions
You
about.
need a stick.
Yeah, it's I'm thinking that. Oh, I don't know. But is that I'm thinking about the distance of 15 mil and 20 mil. Is it? And then people go, or go 25 mil because my 20s aren't wide enough. Can you tell? Surely the inflation of a tire could make a more difference than 5 mil on the back here and there. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But
every millimeter counts, mate.
I suppose that's what they say, isn't it? Oh, Size just asked, can you get a V12 in there? I think that might be a bit tight. Yeah, I think you might struggle with that. Maybe you could do a rear. I've not seen a rear engine TT yet. Has anyone done a rear engine conversion? That'd be quite interesting. There's not an awful lot of room in the back. But you wouldn't need a rear seat delete because you'd have an engine in the back of it, or maybe a dual engine car. Lots of things
It's
to
an
do.
interesting one. That no, I've not.
No.
I'd love to see an EV TT. Just for the acceleration, it'd be such a cool project.
Something. Chris and I have spoken.
I've been looking into that.
Oh,
I've looked into it. I've got a plan, but it's just a cost at the moment.
Yeah.
And trying to find. So what you'd have to. The easiest way of doing it. Obviously, you could do it any way you want, but the easiest way of doing it is to get a front wheel drive 180 auto, because then obviously you can mount the motor up to an auto box. Because then you don't have to worry about gear changes, and then you don't have the 4-wheel drive issue. But yeah.
So you're only using the front wheels?
Yeah, but it's just for ease of, because obviously you could always build on it after. Because where are you going to put the batteries?
Yeah,
that's the consideration. Because obviously there's no false, unless you build a false floor, and then it's just going to be an arse.
Yeah.
Just get a Tesla and put a TT body shell on it.
Yeah.
A nice dual motor, off you go.
Well, there's a couple of guys I've seen. I've seen one with my own eyes. Is that LPG conversion that guy's got with a little plug on the back bumper, which is I was like, well,
mine had LPG, the Noggy.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did it have on the back bumper with a little patch?
Yeah. So the only reason I changed the bumper was because I bought one for £40 on eBay in the right colour. What's the chances?
Yeah. There you go, Andy. That's what you should have done.
For 40 quid.
Yeah, Noggy bumper. So the story goes, I bought the car, I don't know, 4 years ago, whatever. Had LPG, and the lady was like, it does maybe 10% less miles to the gallon on LPG because it's not as quite efficient, but it works. So anyway, she said there's like half a tank in there. So I drove home and I was on LPG and the petrol needle didn't move. And I was like, I'm going to leave this on it. Yeah, lovely. Filled it up at home and then fucking thing stopped working. I had 40 litres, a 40-litre tank of LPG, which is still sat in my garage right now.
Wow.
Because
there you go.
What do you do with it,
Plug it into the barbecue.
Yeah, well, that is what's going to happen.
Because I think they are. Well, the canister is obviously quite different to that, but it's the same sort of principle. I thought, is it not? Just you don't go and get it from Cala. I guess you fill it up at that's the idea of that valve on the back of it is you get it from the petrol station or the service station and fill it up and off you go. I suppose you can do that. You can go to LPG and
I think the idea is that it's a cheaper liquid to buy. So like rather than paying whatever you pay per liter for petrol, it's just a cheaper liquid and it'll run in a petrol engine. But
what's the MPG like on it though? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's it. I put
about 10 or 20% less.
Right. But the cost is about half, isn't it?
At the moment, it's a quid. Yeah. But the problem is it burns hotter, so you tend to get a less efficient like spark and combustion. Right. So then you end up running your car hotter, which means you're more likely to burn the rings and score the bore and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
They're made for like big, like big V8s that just are lazy wafters rather than really highly strung performance turbos.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
The other thing that I was just wondering was I'd love to build a TDI TT. And then I was talking to I think you, Chris. It's like what's the difference between the Mark 1 and the Mark 2? And then because that's what I was looking at originally, buying a Mark 2 TDI TT.
TDI. Yeah, I think 170 brake the Mark II TDIs, and they map up quite well, and they're very, very torquey.
Yeah.
And Sean's got one, and I think he gets like 50 MPGs on that.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was quite pleasantly surprised with his. He doesn't like to talk about it being a diesel, but it does it all right.
Yeah.
But that one we saw, remember that one we saw at Hemel at your meet, Dom, in the car park, and it had that massive air filter on it, that diesel
Francisco's,
one. That is nuts. I mean, that's had some serious work done. That's a serious labour. I love that car. I've not seen him since.
Interesting fact about diesels. Yeah, no, he's still about. I think we're going to do something on the channel, but he does quite a lot of travelling in the summer. There's, if you go on, that how many left?
Yeah.
There's 3 registered diesels.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Mark 1s or Mark 2s?
Which doesn't include Francesco's. No, Mark 1s. I know of 2. I don't know the third.
But these are home-built ones.
Yeah, people have converted them.
Yeah.
Arguably, one is factory, but I don't think it is.
That's a.
And I've been
trying to. They were 1.9 PDs, though.
Blue. Yeah, 1.9 PDs. Yeah, it was 2005 in Sprint Blue, and apparently it's a factory diesel. I don't know, but
or is it just a really good conversion that like everything looks factory?
Yeah, like a really professional condition. Because probably you need to change the tank.
Yeah.
But what tank do you use? Because obviously the tank needs to fit shapely underneath. Because otherwise,
do you not just use the TT petrol tank and just?
No,
because petrols and diesels are different, aren't they? You have to have a lift pump and
but you only need
the lines are different. Stuff.
What are they? What are the Mark 1 TTs? Is it A4s or something, platform or something like that, or A3? So I suppose you just find
it's the A3,
that's it. So you just find a diesel A3 fuel tank.
Yeah.
But then again, you got the Quattro.
Is it Quattro? You have to find.
Yeah, exactly. It starts getting a little bit complicated, doesn't it? It's obviously, if it's just like a 180 or 150 front wheel drive, it's obviously a lot easier because then you haven't got to worry about all that.
The one thing that I've always been thinking about this, and the one thing I've always wondered is what gearbox to use, because obviously if you use the petrol TT, you just be running through the gears too quickly, and obviously 5th and 6th gear, there wouldn't be enough torque in it because you'd just be like literally flying through every gear. And do you just get a diesel gearbox, split it, pull the gears out and put them into the TT Quattro gearbox? Or can you find like a Mark II Quattro TDI diesel gearbox and put it in? Or like, would those...
If you could use a 19 TDI Quattro A3, that should give you technically the same thing, but it'd be a 5-speed to deal with the torque.
Right.
Is my understanding of the way you would do it.
Because
obviously you just blow the petrol gearbox to crap.
Yeah. Well, you just be running through the gears too quickly as well. Like. Yeah.
You have been accused of being on something though, Stephen. If they're just talking about electric vehicles and LPG, they think you're on something. But
stay tuned. There is actually I'm going to do a video on that.
Okay. Carl Davis has a great name there by Carl, a great surname. He's asked about what our opinions are on Addicts controllers. See, Dom, I see you've replied to him on there. But so, Addicts controllers, for the uninitiated of us, talk to us. Tell us.
Well, there's three options, right? So you've got the blue one, which is a factory bought one, which comes, I think they come on R32 Golfs. I'm not 100% sure, but they give you a better proportion front to rear. So like a fit more of a 50-50. You can buy an insert for 40 quid off of eBay, which gives you a 50-50 permanent rather than having the Addicts where it controls where you want it. And then you have a HPA controller where you can literally adjust the percentage as to where you want it, which Paul Knight has on his, the black one, 500 horsepower one. Because it obviously when you're launching it, you don't want it to keep trying to think what's going and what wheels are slipping and whatever. You just set it as 50-50 and then square. The HPA is the best one, but they're about 600 or 700 quid new.
Yeah. So that HPA one, is it a Russian built one or something? The screen and all the things on it as well. I don't
know if it's Russian, but it's got the screen and it's all touchscreen.
Yeah. I think there was a shortage of. I think it might be the screens came from Russia or something. I know he was saying we saw him at the Battle of Hastings meet that there was a shortage of those parts and you couldn't get hold of them at the moment. So, but those colour screens, they do look the absolute business for, and he was showing me all the features you can do and all the scanning.
Oh, you mean the little centre one?
Yeah.
I'm on about the...
HP's a separate screen.
Right, yeah. Okay.
4-inch, separate Saturday jobby.
I think Grant's got one on his Quattro Sport as well.
Has he?
He's got the little screen. Yeah, he's got the little screen below his ashtray. which controls this Addicts, like Dom was saying, on a separate screen.
There's a guy that was at the Essex meet, not the last one, the one on the South End Seafront a few weeks ago, probably a couple of months ago now, and he got one as well. But I've only seen a few of them about, so I don't know if they're one of those things that are just not that common, or is it not really a popular change for people? They want to keep it standard to the orange and red, like mine, the very orange and red.
How often would you actually want to adjust it? Like, is it literally just for racing and that's it? Like, you know, if it's daily driving, would you want?
Yeah, I mean, you can adjust it so it's got more of a proportion just if you're a hard driver. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You want it to hack it back rather than just being front wheel drive until you slip. It gives you that more proportionate mix. I'll have to dig out the video and I'll send it to you lot. But there's a video of a guy. When we went to Aldi's in the park a couple of years ago, and he had an A3, a black one, and he sort of launched it out, and because it was 4-wheel drive, it literally kind of just went diagonally, and he went straight into the bush. Right. Wet. But obviously, normally it would just front, and you just kind of quick wheel spin, and then it would just take off. You know? But that just kind of went 4 wheels like diagonally across the road.
Because I remember watching That's Auto Parts. They're on YouTube. There, he's friends with the Humble Mechanic, and they had, I think it was a red. Was it R32 or something like that? And they just converted it. That was only rear wheel drive. So they were only using the Haldex 100%, no front wheel drive. And they just said they literally did a few skids and the box blew up because they're not designed to actually do all rear wheel driving and doing skids and stuff with it. That literally Haldex is there as a safety just to hold you in the corners and to be turning on and off that quickly, because that's all it's really designed. Because they showed like the diffs and everything, they're tiny in it. And then compared to an MX-5 or a BMW, they're massive, like compared to, you know, from the Haldex to the other brands.
Yeah, I've not really heard of anyone blowing any up with like a controller or an insert.
Okay.
I'm actually going to buy an insert just for a laugh, I think, and try it.
I've got what one you're going to put it in?
Car. Whichever one works at the time. I mean. You only have to take a circlip. I know they're not easy to get to, but they just push in. You put a circlip in. They're not actually that bad.
There's no like differential lock in them, is there? So, do you know is there a diff lock on them, or are they always open diff?
Ooh, I think if you put the insert in, it makes it. Oh, wait, do you know what?
All you're doing is
because I've been trying to.
Yeah.
Because
all you're doing is bringing the power from the front to the back, but you're not actually locking the back wheels, or are you?
I think
it's open.
It is the pressure which makes the
clutches. Yeah,
it pressurizes it so that they are.
And that then turns on the rear diff, but it's always open diff. It's not like limited slip or anything, is it?
No, it's clutched, isn't it? So if it's knackered, it just won't work. So it'll just be front wheel drive.
No, but the actual the two rear wheels.
Yeah, I see what you want to see. When you want to like going from side to side sort of thing, I think it's always open. I think they're always, I don't know.
I think it's open, yeah. Well, if you spin it, one goes the other way. Yeah, no, they are open because otherwise they both go the same way. Yeah.
So it would be interesting if you could get like a limited slip. Then, like, you know, if you absolutely floored it, you could then, you know, on the turns, you could be like a Subaru, like.
We could definitely weld it.
Stephen, I think it's time for you to weld your rear diff out and show us.
Yeah.
This is your challenge.
No, I'm not this car here, I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I think we're getting a few bits in the chat about Chris 225 was saying, do you get tyre scuffing going around the corner if you've got a permanent 4-wheel drive?
You shouldn't do.
And the front axles go further than the back axle going around corners, he's put. So
yeah, you shouldn't do, because it would still be open. You just have it would be driven rather than locking.
Right.
Okay.
I see
I
that.
think we need to try it, don't we?
There's a challenge there being thrown down there. So Christopher Boosted has put. So I wasn't wrong about the HPA screen. It's the MFD is built by a guy in Russia. So there you go. I did get some of it right. The Car Ward has said, any meets coming up? Well, I think we've talked about those. He's finally got his V6 on the road and eager to meet everyone. Okay, so just to recap the Car Ward, we've got a meet this Sunday in Ockham Bites down in. It's Surrey, isn't it? It's not West Sussex.
Yeah, it's Surrey. Yeah. Just off the A3.
Yeah. So if you want more details, it's starting at 9 a.m. Have you got the postcode? We could do.
I've got it on my community page on mine. I don't know if you put it up on yours as well.
Yeah, if someone could shout the postcode out, we'll shout out in here as well, so we know what that is.
KT11, isn't it?
I think it is KT11.
KT11. Everyone's racing. KT11.
5 seconds. 1NA.
Okay. So KT11 1NA. There you go. That's the postcode for Sunday. So we will all be there, bar Stephen, because he'll be cutting silage on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. So please come along and meet us. We'll all be there, and there'll be tons of cars there, I think, this Sunday, because literally everyone you speak to, they go, "You're going to Ockham Bites?" And we're like, yeah, you're going to Ockham Bites, and everyone's really buzzing for it. So it'd be great to make that the biggest one of the year so far we've been to, I think. Which I think it's...
if we can get over 80 cars there, that'd be wicked,
I reckon we can get 100 cars there, the way everyone's talking about
that'd be more than a motorist.
Oh, yeah, it will be. Yeah, I'd thought. And, but yeah, I think we will get... it seems to be it's going to be really popular. And I think also the Quattrophenia run in on the 10th of September. So the car award you were asking. So on the 10th of September, we're going from London to Brighton as well. 9 a.m. start from Wandsworth Common. Check out my page for more details on that as well, and that will be there. What those guys talk about? Yeah. So talking to Haldex, we had a question raised on Friday, didn't we, about a guy saying, "How do you test your Haldex is working?" He was talking about earth straps and stuff, and we said
accelerate really hard.
If it wheel spins, it don't work.
Exactly right. So if you're getting loads of from the steering wheel when you floor it, then you know it's doing it. And also getting it on full lock on sort of loose ground as well will also sort of show that up. But is there any other tips?
Is there a little triangle with an exclamation mark that lights up when you hit Haldex? Is there?
Well, it does that if you go over a humpback bridge too quick as well. Not that I've done it, but it does. When it loses grip and you lose all four wheels off, it's like the Dukes of Hazzard. It comes on then as well.
When I go round roundabouts.
Yeah.
Because there's a few times I've accelerated and you do get the orange triangle with the exclamation mark inside it. I assume
control.
Yeah.
I assume that's just saying what Haldex is at maxed out, is it?
I think it's saying it can't cope, isn't it? I think that's the whole. It's like an error almost.
Get off that pedal. Yeah. You're going too hard.
Yeah. So so the car award, it'll be at Ockham Bites. Great to see you. We'll all be looking forward to seeing you. Come and make yourselves known.
I mean, the good thing about Ockham Bites as well is we have the A3 as a nice racetrack as well, right next to it.
Oh, I don't think we're going to be racing, though, are we? Extensively, and
I think you meant that we've got 40 cars for park. More like.
Yeah. That was another thing that one of those guys on Friday was talking about. He was having problems with his car, and it was he thought it was all sorts of things going wrong, and it was a faulty coil pack, which seems to be quite common. But I said to him, well, if you check that the vehicle hasn't got any recalls, because I'm pretty sure coil packs was one of the recalls at some point, and it's surprising the number of people that aren't aware of the recalls they should check their vehicle for. So it's always worth checking it. You know, most cars have been done now, but there might be a few out there. You know, you might get a free set of coil packs out of it if you're lucky.
Yeah, save yourself £100.
Yeah,
exactly. £120. Yeah.
What recalls were there? Was there one for the airbags?
Or...
airbags. Yeah.
Coil packs.
Have you guys been in for any of the recalls?
Rear spoiler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the rear spoiler.
Yeah. I don't know. I have checked mine. And
Andy, how did you check?
I spoke to Audi. I phoned them up and said. And they say, what's your registration? You give them your registration, and they say, no, it's all been done. So, okay, that's fine. So I don't have any. But I think a coil pack, you know, we talk about having I talk about having a box, like a first aid kit of parts.
Yeah.
And I suppose, Dom, you've got a first aid kit of parts by having 5 TT. Just rob bits off the others. But
I literally know what right now. The problem is I'll be in the wrong car, and I'll be like, you know, when you sort of look back and I go, I've got nothing in here, no tools, I haven't even had jack spare wheel, because obviously I'm working on this car, I just take everything out.
Yeah, that's the trouble. But I think like a coil pack is something that's always good to have in your toolbox. I think if you have a spare one lying around, because it's otherwise you've got to order it in, you've got to go to, you know, and they do tend to, you know, the engine gets a bit lumpy from what I've seen when it's when one of those coil packs letting go, and it gets
the engine management light flashes away and all that. Happy days.
But I think it can also lead to other faults manifesting. It's a bit of a false, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a false positive, but but like a red herring, really, I suppose. Because I think when we were at Springfest, you did a quick OBD11 on Si's car.
Yeah.
Basically, told him like his gearbox about to fall out and his chains had blown up, and it was a faulty callback. So he was quite relieved, I think.
I said to him the chains is sort of like they were saying it's out, but where it was running so lumpy, I said, look, don't really take too much notice of them because it's us, but it wasn't actually picking up that it was a coil pack.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I think we also spoke on Friday that I think would we say minus and plus 11 was the most it can read on that, and then if your chains get any more steps,
after that it's just nothing.
So
is it minus and minus and plus 8 is the tolerance, but I think that's what's it safety is like 4 or something, isn't it, or 3 or 4?
Well, no. So technically, Bill's a badge of 5. I think one of his is 11, and one reads as nothing because it's past 11. He still drives. He just logs a misfire every now and then. But you got 6 cylinders, so if one goes down, you still got 5, haven't you? So,
yeah, exactly. So the V5
might not be quite as quick.
But yeah, the 1.8 turbos, they suffer bad. I mean, if you look and it's got a mixed match of coil packs.
Yeah.
Recommended next time you save up and do a service, swap all 4 and then just keep the other ones as spare.
Yeah.
Because the rule of thumb is if one goes, you replace the all, because once one fails, they're all going to work a little bit harder because you put a new one in and the rest are old. It's like coil leads, isn't it? You'd always change your distributor cap and leads every 5 years or whatever.
And they're all the exact same age and done the exact same mileage. And if one is failing,
plus they sit in a flipping engine getting crazy heat cycles. You know what I mean?
No, definitely.
The only problem
is rocker gasket leaks, fills with oil.
Yeah. Don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna finally bite the bullet. Maybe next week. I think when things calm down a bit, and I'm gonna have my sump off and do more pickup pipes, Chris. So
it's not that hard.
It's easy.
Putting it back on. It's getting that sump back.
Hidden bolts in the sump. You undo them all, and you think, sweet.
Why is he not coming off?
There's 3 hidden, in the gearbox.
Yeah,
you got those hidden ones.
I done one, and it dropped. It dropped.
Oh
sideways,
no!
And then there's that little valley where it just sat, and I was trying to get an airline to like blow it up.
So I used the magnet on the stick when I done one, so I'm doing it with the magnet in the stick up. So if it falls, it can only stick to the magnet.
I think it's I think I'm definitely going to do it. I see Joe Caldwell was doing he's had his done today, I think, by his mechanic. I don't know if you saw that on Facebook.
Got a new sump.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that was about.
No.
Yeah, he had
it's a bit OTT.
I think
it had some sort of mark on it and it had a leak. It looked like it had like a welded patch from the past on it.
Oh, right.
He was telling me. He had like a patch sort of like welded onto it. And so, like, fair play to him just changing, innit?
Yeah. The guy was working on 2 jacks, I know. He said it jacked right up.
No stands. And
I was like,
Andy, are you going to do yours? Like personally?
Yeah,
like, do you have a sump or like how or is it just 2 jack stands that climb underneath it?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Brave man.
2 jack stands? What are you going to do? He lives in the wilderness, man. Just a bit of log. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to get a couple of bears to hold it up for me. Got some dancing bears in the garden.
I know. I have a pit at home, and I do not understand how anyone can do anything in their the front of their garden or on their driveway. It must be so difficult.
I would love to have a pit, and when I eventually do the work I'm doing in the back garden, and I've got somewhere to put the cars, I am going to have a pit, I think. And then I'll just
totally recommend it.
I'll bury all the daughter's boyfriends in them. That's the plan for it. All that to come, Dom, later in life, trust me.
Yeah, thanks for that, and Chris. Huh?
Oh, it's all coming,
Yeah. So no, I very much envy your pits, David.
Yeah.
You look like you've got a full workshop. You look like you were in an MOT station when you're doing your work.
Yeah, so the pit originally was for trucks, so it's a really wide one. And when we were building it, we measured the inside of a car, between the 2 wheels. So that's exactly the width you're getting. You're not getting any wider. So the truck mechanic was like, why can't I get any wider? It's like, when you leave in 5 years' time, I want a working pit.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant. The idea was you can reverse a 40-foot trailer the whole length all the way in. So it's great because we can work on 2 or 3 cars then at the same time.
Nice. Yeah, I'd love to get a
2-3-man job to reverse it on.
So what was that?
I want to get a lift at some point.
Reverse it in. Okay.
Go on, Dom. 2 or 3-man reverse it on.
He's gone off in disgust.
Look, he's gone red.
Stephen wasn't saying who he was talking to, so me and Dom were both carry on talking to him.
Oh, I don't know. Don't let them bully you, Dom. You tell them where it is.
Yeah. You're nearly as right as the word parrot.
So your pick, Stephen. Then so you haven't got a rolling road as well, have you?
No, unfortunately not.
Well, we're not going to have like an Irish Badger 5 we can get over there and.
That would be awesome, though.
Yeah, that would be good. I was amazed on that video. I know, Dom, you said that the noise is horrendous there, and it, not there, but like that, the sound of that rolling road. But to me, that was the first time I'd heard like someone doing that, and it was like. It just sounds like a jet fighter warming up, ready to go. It's like it's
They sound great. The problem is obviously the two giant, I don't know, like 40-inch fans.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously they run down they have like a filtration system that they draw the air in and then it runs it out to the front of the car and it comes out the back. So it's that, and the car obviously in third or fourth gear from 30 to 100, 120, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't sound great, does it? Because you're not going through the gears; you're just riding a gear up to the top. So it sounds a bit, and obviously the dyno turning as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what gear do they pull in? Is it third, fourth,
or
fifth?
Fourth, I believe.
Yeah. I know it'd be fourth on a 5-speed gearbox, but what's it on a 6-speed?
I think it's still 4.
Okay.
I thought when I was watching the end of your video, I thought, well, Ben Griffiths had a bad day because he's completely changed. I think there's a different guy driving the car out, and I realized that guy stealing Ben's car. And then I realized that he's the guy.
Do you know what it was? I edited the video, and then I realized there was some funny bits with Bryn talking, and then I got a really nice shot with Chris from the Motor Monkeys. I started filming him leaving, so I thought, looks quite nice. He'll like this. I was just send it to him for Instagram, whatever. And then Tom was behind me, so I was just walking with my finger behind me like this at Tom because he was trying to get the shot, but I'd already thought about it. You know what I mean? And it was just a battle between the YouTubers, and I just thought, because it's like you see something, you think, oh, that'd be good, I'll get that, because obviously it's quite a nice car with the wheels turning on a Quattro Sport wheels. Looks really nice. And then Tom's behind me, so I'm sort of getting in his way so he can't film it.
Yeah. When I looked at the board of the different cars that had run, I noticed that they were always down as Quattro Sports or 225s or 180s. So there was no 3.2s on that board, but I guess they just misread that. Did they run it as
there was.
Ben's.
There was a few.
Yeah, because Ben's is down as a Quattro Sport on that board.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, only because of the wheels, I reckon. The wheels probably throw people on that. But,
yeah, probably. There was Alistair, so there's one. There's literally, obviously, there's a crap picture.
Yeah.
Let me cover my face. There you go. Can't see it.
No,
so there's a V6. Yeah, there's a V6 Alistair's one, which has got cams, headwork, headers, and I think that made 272.
Right.
But I think he was in for... We'll say an undisclosed figure that's 5 digits, because obviously it's headwork, and as soon as you split the engine, you're a few grand, aren't you?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's nice. It make not. Do you know what I mean? It's like decent power, but it's just not enough to warrant.
No, that's the thing. Is what you shelled out for. I mean, you've essentially jumped up maybe 25 brake there from standard car, I guess, if it still was pushing the 247 originally, but there's probably other cars like a 225. You're going to get bigger power gains for a lot less money if you wanted to do that. I think
just from a stage 1 map, you've got more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think the 3.2, if you want to go, to get that level of power, you'd have to chuck such serious money at it compared to as that shows. I mean, chucking 5 figures. If you chuck 5 figures at a 225, you would have serious power gains, surely, would you not? Probably higher than you'd probably get out of.
For sure. I mean, this is.
There's no replacement for displacement.
I kind of say to people.
Yes, there is. It's called turbo, Stephen.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the video of getting the V6 super and turbocharged.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few of these only on YouTube and stuff, the turboed up VR6 lumps, and I'll tell you, if I had the money, I'd probably go for something similar and go for 1,000 brake or something.
Yeah. Wasn't Bryn talking about that in the video? Was he not saying that's where he wants to
go?
Yeah,
me and Bryn were on about doing one. We reckon we could do it for 3.5 grand.
Wow.
On a cheapish turbo, like log manifold off from China, whatever. Yeah. But Bill was saying he reckons he could do it for 7 or 8 grand. He thinks. Obviously, he wouldn't commit to a figure, but we were talking rough figures. And he could quite easily get you 500 horsepower.
Wow.
Which is
that just bolt on, or are you taking the pistons and gapping them
you'd be doing pistons and rods.
Yeah.
Pistons and rods to change the compression, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. I mean, the block can take. I think he was saying 700 or 800 brake. There's a lot.
Yeah.
In a V6.
Yeah, because it's easy power, isn't it? It's the size of it. You could technically unopen it, slap a supercharger on, slap a turbo on, and do 450 easy without anything.
At what point does it become undrivable, though? There's an awful lot of other
without
bits.
touching the engine.
Yeah.
Just a fuel
I think
pump
you've got.
projectors.
Don't you have to change like the head gaskets to a thicker head gasket to help lower the compression as well, or something on them?
If you change the pistons, it does it. But you can. You can. You speak to Astrid at, I don't know what his name is. He's in Wolfham Abbey way, and he can build you a 1200 horsepower one if you want.
And like, if you took like a shot of nitrous on a standard engine, or like, no, but it'd be the cheapest way. Rather than
Crazy Stephen's back.
Stephen, you're going to weld up your disc with your TT and then throw a load of nitrous for it as well.
Oh yeah,
I want to see that video.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.
Mate, I definitely will.
I looked into NOS. So NOS on a 1.8 turbo will make it go bang. Because if you look at, is it Humble Mechanic? You know the guy Charles with a big beard in America. Yeah, they strapped it onto a 1.8 turbo,
isn't it?
And it basically blew up. Yeah,
they've done the same on the Jetta recently, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that
that's it. And they blew it up. Yeah. But I think a V6 will take it.
I suppose it depends how much NOS you give it, or nitrous.
And how aggressive you have that NOS coming in.
Yeah.
I have a V6 that's not for sale and is not ready for nitrous. So, but it is ready for a wash and a polish because it's filthy dirty. But yeah, I think
once you get those spacers, like, it's a slippery slope.
No, Simon taught me out of it.
When you get a straight pipe, Andy.
I was on the cusp and I got pulled back by Si. He put me back on the straight and narrow. So no, there's no changes to it. You might say the closest it gets to an upgrade is having a wash and a polish.
Andy, you're only kidding us.
Yeah, I need to sort that O2 sensor out as well, because that's that lambda sensor needs to sort out, which I.
Have you still not done that?
I know.
Mate,
but it's
since I've known you, I think.
I know. I didn't do it. Imagine
have you at least bought the parts?
Is that why it does 6 miles to the gallon, do you reckon?
It's probably not helping, mate, now.
Yeah, so I will. I do need to do it. I have to order the part in and get under the car and scream and cry and curse it a lot, I think. I'll drive it to Ireland, Stephen, and we'll get in your pit and do it.
No problem.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Just wait till September, after the harvest season.
Yeah, exactly. We have silage and harvest, then we're good.
Yeah. Now we definitely have to sort something out for next year to come over to you, Stephen. Because I think that'd be a right good laugh to come over there and see you.
Yeah,
and see what we'll come over like on a weekend where you've got one of your shows on round there as well, where we can all go
awesome,
as well. That would be brilliant, wouldn't it? And we can all stay in your barn or whatever you've got or something.
I'll be busy all weekend. I'll be fitting that OT sensor.
I actually do have like a medium-sized garden that we could all park in it.
Oh, there you go. We'll definitely sort something out. I say it's.
I think that'd be really good.
It's one of those things. I think that we're getting into September almost, and I think that's. After speaking to the guys on Friday, I sort of said, I can. Obviously, this I've not really done meets until this year, but I would imagine things are going to start, tailing off a little bit now in September, and people put their cars away for the winter. I think Jeff was saying he's going to store his car. He's going to take it off the road for a bit. So I imagine that quite a few people now are going to be putting them to bed for the winter. So we won't see a lot of cars around. But I guess you, Dom, from your side of things, you still do your breakfast meets all year round here.
Yeah, I try to. I mean, we need to. I've obviously got my website where I loosely forget to update it. But we definitely need to have some sort of calendar where we can throw stuff, even if there's multiple things that some of us will be attending. At least then we can all point towards it, whether it be a Google Calendar or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we can just throw stuff up there, because I'm going to be doing a Nürburgring trip, a North Coast 500 trip, and a few other bits every year. So next year, I'm going to do it so that people can join on. I'll tell them my itinerary, like what hotel I'll be staying at each night, the kind of things we're going to be doing, and then if they want to join, all they got to do is book that hotel or a hotel nearby on that date, and they can join in.
Yeah.
I think doing a Berg next year would be brilliant.
Yeah.
I did mention that to Sarah Jane. She went, "No, you're not." And I went, "Sort of might do."
That's fine until you get someone tapping at your window at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hello, is this the hotel? No. But yeah, it's But yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think giving people the opportunity to come and try these things when you're there and and get involved in it. I think that's.
Well, it's more people don't want to organise, do they?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
they're worried about getting it wrong or forgetting something or.
But always nice to go as a club or a group, like.
Yeah, absolutely right.
For sure. More parts, isn't
it? Yeah, exactly. Has anyone got a spare one of these?
like when mine broke when I was in Germany twice.
I suppose if it's going to break, it's a great place to break because the parts must be around. Well, they're mainly in the Czech Republic, aren't they? I think a lot of the parts. So we need to do a Czech Republic run for spares.
Yeah, the guy that you met with the red TT, that was a lovely car.
That looked really clean, that one.
It was nice. He literally just messaged me on Instagram. And he's like, "Oh, I see you're in Germany. Do you want to meet for dinner?" I was like,
"Yeah." Did you go off on a romantic date for dinner, or was it just meet up for cars?
Yeah, we went and had the steak on the stone where you cook.
Oh, lovely! Yeah,
nice.
Had a couple of beers, done some filming. Managed not to crash my drone, which was a bonus. and then but it was weird because I sat in it and it's so weird to have the steering wheel on the wrong side or the other side. And the thing is, like little things like they move the bonnet pull to the same side for the driver, and it's just weird.
Right.
You look in the engine and the brake servo's on the wrong side. Yeah. It's easier to get to, and it's like
this makes way more sense.
Although you can't have a big turbo intake pipe, so
there's always a trade-off.
There's always a trade-off. But it was nice. It was nice to see. I mean, I was seeing them and waving them, and half the people were just like. One guy messaged me on Instagram and he's like, "I was waving back, but you didn't see me." I was like, "Oh, cool."
Don't crash. That's the thing. There's the one handy on the wheel. That's what you want. Going through a bend at like 210.
I recently pulled an Andycharger and went up to a guy in a TT and went, "Hi, I also have a TT, but I wasn't driving TT at the time." He just told me I was about to like mug him or something.
Take my business card.
Yeah. Did he go cuckoo?
It was actually a really hot day, and he was trying to figure out how to turn on the aircon because he had the econ button stuck on, and he was there like flicking through it, just like, "Oh, I know how to tell you that, like how to fix it." And he was like, "Please leave me alone." Kind of again, trying to put the window back up really quick.
I saw. I sent the guys the picture I saw yesterday. So I saw a papaya TT yesterday with like black stripes over the top, with 2 black racing stripes over it. And I was in the queue at the Dartford crossing, and I could see this TT, and I was thinking, "Oh!" And all that was going through my head was the cars are stationary. Have I got time to grab a business card and stick it on his window? And I didn't do it because I thought, my luck, I'm going to open the door. I'm going to get a bike come up and like take me out something. But it did cross my mind on the M25 yesterday, but I thought better not do it. I didn't do it. Oh, I love a business card. Although when I was in France, literally 2 weeks ago, I did 2,000 miles of driving, and I did a lot of cycling. I did a lot of driving around towns. I did not see one single Mark 1 at all, and I was in a lot of rural places, a lot of towns, didn't see any. And yet when I went in April and I went to Rouen, I saw a handful of them, so they're obviously concentrated.
They're obviously all Renault Meganes or something.
Yeah, although you guys have got someone that follows you that's called like Alan Dunkirk or something like that. I think he I see often comments and stuff, and obviously, he's only in Dunkirk. I might pop across and give him a card and maybe do a bit of filming over there, because we'd say we go over quite a bit. So I think I might try and get in touch with some of our French TT drivers, and maybe we could do that. Maybe we could arrange a little French meet. We could go on a little day trip.
Better come to Ireland first.
Oh, we are, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's obviously on the calendar, so we've got that.
We'll come to Ireland, pick you up, Steve, and then we'll go to France.
That's right. Perfect. Yeah. We'll take the ferry across.
Yeah, exactly. Do they do Rosslare to Calais? I don't know if
they do actually, yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they do that? Oh, there you go. Well, you can meet us there then.
Perfect. But no, you have to drive around Ireland first, like.
Oh, yeah, we'll do that. Well, maybe we'll go to Calais. We'll do like a big round trip. So we'll go to Calais, get some wine and some beers, then go to somewhere in France, and then get the ferry from Calais to Rosslare, drive around Ireland, and then Rosslare back to Holyhead, and then back home. like a massive.
That sounds like a brilliant idea. It's like literally like TT's currying me wine. Like,
yeah, exactly. I don't know what we're going to do in the afternoon, but that's the morning taken care of. But
we'll drink the wine.
Yeah, well, I think there's definitely some. There'll definitely be some things we've got coming up. So we've got some. So we've got a great meet coming up this Sunday. That's the first one that we're going to be there. So come, guys. Same. If you've got ideas about things you want to do, or hello.
Sorry, that was me.
Right. Sorry. Tom's just remixing his latest video, I think. But yeah, if you want to talk about any ideas you may have or events you'd like to do or anything you want to do, then obviously come and speak to one of us on Sunday, and always chuck it in the pot because we're always open for ideas and stuff. And and say we do definitely need to get over to see Stephen as well. So we'll
do.
We'll have a little chat offline about that, Stephen. We'll see if we can. We'll let your harvest calm down first.
Definitely, I think maybe like next year, or like I think it's probably too late this year. Yeah. But like definitely the last weekend of August would be really brilliant because like there's a huge big car show in Kilkenny, and it's always good weather. So I think that'd be awesome, like to do.
Okay, I'm definitely busy. The whole of August for me. I mean, next Sunday is like I'm double booked, but I'm coming to Ockham Bites because it's going to be crazy good. But yeah, I think anything sort of September onwards we can have a look at. But say if we want to do next year, then let's it gives us time to get it organised as well, doesn't it? And sort of have things
definitely. And like if there's people in the comments that want to come along as well, that'd be awesome.
That's the thing. I think like Dom said, I think that's a great idea that Dom's going to chuck events up on a calendar to say what he's doing, and then if people want to jump on, and we do a similar sort of thing for our hockey trips in Europe, which we say we're going to be at this venue on this date, so you come along, make your own way there, your own hotels, your own way of getting there, and that way people can make it as cheap or as expensive they want to do it. If they want to turn up and stay at the Hilton, then they can, or if they want to bring their tent, they can do that as well. And it just gives everyone an option to do these things if they want to do them. So
definitely
make it.
I can do a calendar so people can submit stuff as well. So like obviously you boys, I'll try and do it so you can all edit it maybe, and I'll just embed it in the website, because then at least you boys can edit it, and then if people submit a meet, if one of us wants to go, then we can just add it, and then at least if it's on there, they know that some of us are going to go, and it'd be worth heading out to, Yeah. Chris Johnson just mentioned some sort of TT gumball in the future. Yeah, it is.
I think that'd be absolutely awesome if he had stickers as well, like just on the cars.
I think Adam Tanker's just got back from one though, isn't he? I think that's what it was. Was it actually gumball? It was
Fun rally,
I think he did.
We did a couple. I've done to Monaco and back. That was really good. It's not driving though.
I don't know if I say I've literally done, essentially Aix-en-Provence and back last weekend. It was 2,000 miles with a few extra bits tucked in. So another sort of 2.5 hours down to Monaco and back. That's a lot of driving.
And that was in a TT.
No. I never get the bikes on the roof, but yeah, it's. I suppose I would. I see someone was selling some OEM roof bars on Facebook today in one of the groups for a TT.
How much?
Yeah, I think. I saw another guy was selling. Well, it wasn't even selling a tonneau cover in Scotland. He was giving it away for free.
Yeah.
It's like, really, and then some American guy jumped on and said, "There's $600 over here." I said, well, if you want me to post it to you, then I can. But I think it all went a bit quiet. I think someone went and picked it up. But
someone would have snapped that straight. I would have even got that, and I didn't even have a roadster.
Exactly. It might look a bit funny on your coupe. Doesn't quite.
I think any original parts that people just want to give away, just store them away. Away.
Exactly right. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is keep all the bits you can, and you never know when they're going to be needed.
Yeah, on the standard TT, did they ever come with honeycomb back? The bit around the, is it called the valance around the exhaust pipes? Like
diffuser?
Yeah.
Diffuser.
Like the honeycomb, the black with the little triangles. Was that only on like the V6 or like?
And the QS.
Okay.
Well, I've seen one, I don't know if it's aftermarket, but that car that was here, that 180 that was in my garden, that had a honeycomb diffuser on the back of a single exhaust. So is that aftermarket?
Yeah, he did that.
Oh, was it?
It's still genuine. It's still genuine, but I think it's like one of those ones you could have ordered, like a Votec. You can order that. Right. You can order the plate blank. It's genuine, but it's not.
It's an optional extra.
Yeah.
Option add-on. Yeah.
I
mean, what you need actually is a VIN window replacement.
Oh yeah, Chris, you've done those, haven't you?
Yeah, I need 3 of them.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for some more material this week because I've literally sold out as soon as I make them, they're gone.
Yeah.
So I've ordered enough material to make 40.
Okay, I don't know. Obviously, it's probably definitely worth talking about that because that is such a great idea. And I say I've seen them and they are first rate, guys. So if your windows are gone and you want a nice little replacement, definitely drop Chris a message on that because he's got some.
I'll bring some on Sunday if I get the material this week. I'll make someone bring some along to the meet so people can grab some then as well.
Shall I get Tommy to make a carrot cake?
Yeah, bring some carrot cake. Definitely bring some carrot cake.
All right, I'll bring us a carrot cake. Yeah. What I might do is I might get her to make some cupcake carrot cakes, and then you can all take home in a little box of them if you want. So I'll bring some along.
All right, Andy. So SJ had a carrot cake. Andy.
Yeah.
Andy, SJ's obviously had her birthday recently.
Yeah, she has.
And she got a big birthday cake, and it was a carrot cake one, right?
Right.
She had a slice of that, and she went, "That's not as good as Romy's."
Yeah.
Mate, and that's it.
Why do you think I'm the size I am nowadays? Honestly, I've gained 5 stone since I've been with her. So there you go. That tells you. Literally, I was literally 2/3 the man I am now. So there you go. So but yeah, I will but I'll definitely ask her kindly if she can knock us one up for the weekend, and you can take. Is SJ coming at the weekend, Chris?
Yeah, she's going to drive the Mark II, and I'm going to bring the Mark 1, so I'm going to bring them both.
Well, I wonder if I can talk her into coming Sunday. I'll see. She might be able to bring a range of cakes, but definitely
there you go.
Cake. Yeah. Right.
Are you going to bring 2 TTs, Andy?
Oh, I don't know. It's I don't like to take the bumper anywhere nowadays. If I'm perfectly honest, unless it's dark.
Just
nighttime meets are fine. Yeah.
Reverse up to a tree, Andy. It'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I'm the thing is, as I said, I've got a game in the afternoon, so I've got to get away, and I can't really get my kit in the silver car. It takes up too much space, so I can put it in the coupe fine. So I think I'll bring the coupe on Sunday and leave the Roadster at home. And I think the weather's looking to turn this week a bit, isn't it? It's not going to be quite so hot. So although I used it at the weekend, and it made me realise how important air conditioning is in a car because my Mauritius Blue has got working aircon and it is fantastic, I have to say. So there you go.
Stop it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, mine still doesn't work.
Yeah, my aircon's working fine in both of mine.
But it does make me think.
You freeze to death.
It makes me think.
I'll Willie at him, mine.
Do you think those sort of things are how much it's being used or how well the car's been looked after? Those sort of things, aircon. They're going to degas, aren't they? But obviously, if you are hammering it all the time, it's going to get used. I just think my car belonged to an old man who never knew what it was. So it's brand new. A lot of the things on it.
Aircon faults are mainly like damaged rads or broken pumps.
That's it.
And obviously that could happen either way, you know?
Yeah. A little stone through the front.
Yeah, my rad's looking a bit shabby.
Oh, apparently, Si said that to quote Obi-Wan, he's more cake than man. Yeah, I am more cake than man. Yeah. And I see Richard just in the chat. I presume you're coming on Sunday, sir, because I know you were talking about. I think you've had your roof done today as well, because I know that was all booked in, because there was that one last little bit of the roof to sort out, and I think your car is then all finished, which is looking great. Oh, Peter's just jumped on. Evening, Peter. Better late than
never.
Hello,
Peter.
Peter.
So I hope
yeah. So there's plenty to go back and catch up on. So if you want to watch it on the rerun, then there's plenty to go back and catch up on. So So anything else you got lined up, guys?
Clean the cars, ready for Sunday at the moment.
Yeah. So Don,
I might bring a new one.
Sunday. Yeah, I was going to say, what's your plan? What are you going to bring? What are you going to bring?
Well, at the moment, it's whatever works.
Okay.
The silver one technically is the only one that works at the moment, without breaking anything. Maybe the Noggy, maybe a new one. It's not been discussed or seen yet.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
So a completely brand new car for the channel. So that would be its first reveal, would it? Excellent.
Oh, I don't know. Depends if I can find some content for Wednesday or not.
People are going, Dom's here, but there's no car.
Yeah.
So, that's because it's right there.
I might just embed it in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely do that. I'll say, so Rich, you've had the roof done. Yeah, it looks amazing. That's great. That's good to know, because I know that was a a bit of a bugbear of yours. Stephen, do you all often get upset and quite jealous when we talk about all these lovely meets we're going to and what we're doing? Not really.
Absolutely, because there's literally nothing like that happening in Ireland. No TT meets anyway. Well, I had a mini one with the guy in the black one, and then he just was terrified and just wanted to drive away. But I was actually bringing in a load of grain actually, and there was another black TT in front of me with a different reg, so that's how I knew it wasn't the same one. So there seems to be a lot of really popular black ones, but there's no other colors seemingly not that I've seen recently. I saw another one today, but it was a Mark II.
Maybe the paintwork just obviously gets damaged in Ireland. Maybe it all fades to black in the end.
Or it's just really dirty, like.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah, it could be that. Maybe they don't wash the cars. Maybe they've got a hosepipe ban as well. Yeah, that's going to be interesting because there's a lot of hosepipe bans around the southeast at the moment. So are there going to be dirty cars there on Sunday, or is it going to be everyone clean and breaking the rules? It'll be interesting. Hopefully, well,
I mean, we've got a water shortage and we live on an island surrounded by water, so it all makes sense, doesn't it?
Well,
obviously, it's not the right water, is it? It's never the bloody right water.
Well,
if it rains this week, you've got no excuse if you're just out there and you're
reverse
slope up there.
Yeah, well, the pond's nice and full now, thanks to Southern Water, and it's water leaks straight into my pond from the road. So the road that was damaged at Springfest is still damaged this week, and it's still leaking. So
did a truck crash in that as well?
Yeah, that's what's.
There's a truck on its side. I think I saw a picture of.
Yeah, well, he arrived early.
Like leaning over it.
He arrived early for the meet, and I said, "No, we're not. It's not till Sunday." And that was only Thursday. And you're not driving a TT, and you definitely wouldn't fit under my cables. So I just had to try and take the cables out. But yeah, it's I did notice. I think Don went down the road and turned around and came back when he left, because I'm pretty sure I heard him going back down the road. Did you do that, Don? I think you did. Pretty sure I heard.
No, I just went left out.
Oh,
I nearly hit a Kent fire and rescue though.
Oh, you did. You said that was on the way.
I don't know which way I went because I'm terrible with directions.
I go right when I come out the drive.
I went left out the drive, and then I went left, and before I come up to the railway, and there's a bit where it's sort of blind, and there's a railing on one side, and we literally both come around the corner at the same point, probably 40 each. You know what I mean? And it both skidded towards each other, and I was just like,
"Don't hit me, car!" Oh.
And I actually had to get out and check I didn't hit him. It was close and questionable.
Nasty. But yeah, it's but this road is really fast. It's national speed limit, and it's nice and straight, so you can get up. You know, if you want to stretch the legs of the car, you can do it down there. But it's not so great for trying to pull out my drive when someone comes around the corner at 60. But hey, never mind. I see Peter said pop up to Scotland. There's plenty of water there. Well, if you're in Scotland, you might want to go and pick up that that tonneau cover. I think, Peter, there's a free tonneau cover going begging somewhere in Scotland right now. So
that must have gone by now. Someone has driven from halfway around England to get
it. yeah. You're right with that, I think. Yeah, good.
And Andy, my 12-volt charger finally came. So
yeah, you got it.
I was absolutely delighted with it. And man, those things are amazing.
Aren't they just?
So I got the 1200, but I think it's just whatever sticker they put onto it. You just get the same one.
No, Dom gets the better one, as we always say. If we get the 1200, Dom gets the 1201.
Well, I started a mini digger with it, which was like an indirect engine. That was cold. And then we had one of our tractors wouldn't start. So a big 6-cylinder straight diesel engine with high compression. And it started it. And now it was not happy afterwards. It was a bit hot. But they're amazing little things.
Well, I tried mine straight out of the box because I've had a couple of flat batteries recently, and put it on the V6, and it did nothing. I was that's a bit strange. But then there's a little boost button on the side. Clicks the boot, and it literally the car came back to life. And then I thought, wow! And then it started straight away. It's amazing. That boost really does kick it some. Yeah. So, I think that's a great little bit of kit.
And have you used the OBD sensors yet, or
no, I've got
the readers.
I've got a little video coming on that. So, yeah,
I've
obviously got two of those OBD readers that they sent me, because they sent me one and plugged it in and it did not work. So they've sent me another one, a much more super duper one. Probably not as super duper as Dom's, but it's more super duper than the one they sent originally. And
they got the ump with me because I won't take any more stuff off of them.
Oh,
I don't need it. They keep emailing me. Oh, do you not want this? Do you not want that? I was like, no.
We'll say no, but the other boys do.
Send it here.
So we take cash as well.
I I got sent an I Think DAG about a month ago, and you know something? It's actually pretty good. It's another sort of like Bluetooth one, but it's quite a big box that you plug in. And you know, say it's really good. It works on all cars as well. And I put it on my X5, and since I've done like the gearbox, changed all the fluid in the gearbox and auto transmission, it let me reset all the adaptions on it and on the transfer case, literally everything. It works on everything on the LDs, everything on the Mrs. Merc. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that little one from Top Don, it works on the Mondeo and it works on the Fiesta. It just doesn't work on the Audi. So it obviously it must work on newer cars, I guess, because it just doesn't even read it.
The early stuff.
Yeah, which is not ideal. But you know, because the thing is, they don't really make that clear on any website. So if someone bought that thinking, "Oh, I'm getting a cheap reader," and then it turns out it doesn't work, and then people would then complain. But it's not a case it doesn't work. It does work, but they need to be clear over their the models it does work on. Whereas my little £12 Bluetooth dongle that I plug in, it works a treat. You know, it's great. It tells me everything I need to know. Maybe not quite as powerful as Chris's OBD11, but I see someone was posting on Facebook groups this week about keys, because obviously I've done my keys, haven't I? And I've done
reprogramming.
Yeah, and I asked if you can do it. Well, he was saying, "Oh, you can do it with OBD11 Pro," and I was like, I don't think you can. I think because I don't think you can do it with VCDS. I think you actually have to get an automotive guy, or you can buy, or you can get a bit of kit in that does it. You can rent a bit of kit, but that's a few £100.
On VCDS, you can. What can you do? You can reset the amount of keys the car has, and then you can put a new key in, and then press the button so it picks up the key. But I don't know if you can set up a Virgin transponder. You know
I think I don't think you could actually recode it. Could you? You can't recode it with the immobilizer as such. And I think that's what this guy was saying. I said, yeah. So I said, I don't think you can do that, because the trick where you put the key in the door and the key in the ignition and reprogram the buttons, that works, and I've proved that works by doing that. And but that took a few goes of trying different combinations to find the right version, because a lot of people were saying, this not on mine, but on other videos I noticed people saying it doesn't work. And I was like, well, I'm going to try that, and it didn't work. But then I did a few different versions of it, and I finally found a version that works. And that's a lot of people have fed back on that video saying, I've watched other videos and they don't work, and yours does. So I was always it's always nice when you crack a problem and other people have tried to crack.
Keys have always been a bit of a pain as well, because obviously to buy a key, like if you only had one and you wanted a spare in case you lose in your boot or whatever, they're like 100, 150 quid. They're not cheap.
No.
And the buttons, but I mean, my new car, the key, it was missing the tab, so it was just a key. It had no key ring, which is horrific to lose. So I bought a new key for £5 and just took the guts out. But then the original keys are held. The original chip is held in with 2 brass bolts, which are smooth. So they're obviously like twisted in with a machine and then made smooth. So then you have to heat them up with a soldering iron and then try and slide them out. And then when you put the new one in, the new buttons are too long. So then when you click it together and go to use it, none of the buttons click, and it's just like, I don't want to break the only key that I have. I managed to do it in the end, but what a faff.
Yeah.
I've only got one key on my Mark 1.
Well, saying that, I see that Si's put in the chat. He had his keys reprogrammed for £12. Well, that's a bargain, I think, if you get them reprogrammed for £12. But then I also noticed that Peter's put, you can on VCDS, you need to factory set them, but you can't do the immobilizer on VCDS. Now that was what I was getting at. You can't you can't reset your immobilizer as such, because if you've got you can have a key cut, because that's what I did. I had a key cut at Keys in the post, and they sent me from a photo. So I took a picture. I sent the picture off via WhatsApp, and then he sent me the key already cut in the post for £5. And I thought, that's never going to work from a picture, surely not. And it did. But of course, I'd got a new key, a bit like you said, Dom, there. And I thought, I'll be fine. I'll just put the key on there, put it in the ignition, turn it. And of course, the engine fires up briefly, but then it flashed on the dashboard that there's no immobilizer chip, so you know it doesn't work. But of course, then if I have the other key fob and that key, it would work.
Yeah, to read it, yeah.
So what I did in the end was I thought, well, I just unbolted the old key that had snapped and put the new fob in there and used the old fob. But really, I've got a brand new key fob with all brand new buttons up that work nicely. And if I change the guts over, I'm sure it'd work really well. But that's a job for another day.
Yeah, I think in VCDS you can read your immobilizer code. you go into instrumentation and you find it there, but like, I just stayed out of it because I was like, if I start messing here, I'm gonna brick it, and then it'll be no good. Like,
yeah.
That's the thing when you start playing around with the codes and stuff and try to recode things. If you do get it wrong, that's it. You could really stuff your car quite quickly.
Yeah.
And I see a few people ask that they've sent their clusters off to be like reprogrammed. They said, "Can I still drive the car without the cluster?" No, not really, because it won't start. But it's surprising that people think they can, when it's off being repaired, that they can just carry on driving.
Yeah, I need to try and find a way of doing it so we can. Because I've seen a couple of people have had their clusters sent off and then they've said they're like uneconomical repair because they're burnt or damaged or whatever. Because you can get a new cluster. Say, for instance, you break a car, Andy, and you have a cluster for sale. You could buy the cluster and then you could get your cluster cloned onto this one, so the mileage would be the same and the immobilizer would be transferred over, or you can take the immobilizer off so that the key doesn't need to look for it when you start it. But I don't know the implications and who does it, so I need to try and source whether it's remappers that take the immobilizer off or someone with like dealer VCDS that may be able to.
One of my friends got that done.
Just because it's one of them things that I don't know the proper answer. I just know it's doable.
So do we think that if you've got a car and you took the cluster out of one car and you took all the keys and all the locks and changed the whole lot into another car, that would work? That would work. But
if you look on eBay, they sell like lock sets and it comes with like key barrel doors
and also the cluster as well.
But you have to move the ECU as well, is it?
That's what I'm thinking. Would it?
It's the ECU and the cluster,
Because otherwise, you're gonna. I guess all the stuff that's the the mileage and that sort of thing is all gonna need to come with the car.
Yeah. So one of my friends, it was the same thing. Like his one went pixelated, but also the fuel gauge and the temperature gauge, everything just kind of went a bit haywire. So he sent it off to be fixed, and your man loaded it up and was like, "It's not savable." So they went onto eBay, got another one, and got it shipped to the guy that was fixing it, and basically cloned the new eBay one or his one originally onto the new eBay one. So all his mileage and everything was identical. And then he shipped it back, put it into the car, and then his car's an 02, and I think it was an 04, 05 cluster, and the fuel gauge reads backwards. So when it's fully full, the gauge sets empty, and the wife drives it. So he's like, if it ever says fully full, get petrol. So I think what he has to do is pull the fuel tank out and swap the reader inside the fuel tank to an 04 or 05 one. I think that's how you get over it.
I see that Peter Loden's put about the CCM is also matched the cluster as well. So there's obviously a lot of CCMs that tend to go if you've had your roof down and it floods. So is that the case? Would you have to swap that?
So CCMs, I know you can swap CCMs as long as the part number's the same.
So would you have to any reprogramming? Any reprogramming needed, do you reckon?
No, the CCMs are just in and out.
Okay.
They're just because all they are just controls. All they're looking for is certain terms to be met to make certain things happen. I know they obviously differ between Roadster and Coupe, but to my knowledge, they're just one of them. You can just use them.
The CCM sits somewhere behind that hood, does it not? Under that rear
passenger.
Sort of
in the convertible. It's behind the driver's side.
Where's it on the hard shell?
So, passenger rear door card.
Okay.
And on the other side is the Bose amp.
Yeah, that's interesting because that's I have had my my roof down a couple of times when it used to rain in the old days, and I've had the roof down. It's rained on the car, and I've always thought, I hope I haven't fried my CCM. But
no, you're right, because if you look, the easy way to do it is if you, with the roof up, sit backwards on your seat, so you've got the roll hoop in front of you, and if you sort of lean over, there's like a pocket that lifts up, and you can see it down there.
Oh right, I have seen that actually in the It's quite dark from what I remember down there, so I have to get some good lights in the car. Is that on the driver's side? I thought it was on the passenger side, behind the passenger seat. That flat. There's a flap there that goes to something as well. What's that? That goes to?
That's something else. I think. Okay. I don't know. That's probably I don't know what that is actually. I've never looked. I just know I check my CCM to see whether there's any water staining where like the drain holes were blocked or anything.
I see some guy mentioned earlier on Facebook about his roof. It goes down under power. It doesn't go back up under power. And I think mine was doing that, and that was one of those struts had popped off. So you've got those strut one either side, and if you don't have, I think it needs. I think it needs both of them to give it enough oomph to get it back up as such. But I think obviously he'd lost one. I did tell him to check it. But the trouble with those struts are you can't really see them and use them unless the hood's up, because they disappear off down into the recess when the hood's down. So you have to almost have them up so you can then clip it back on. I did tell him to have a look, but whether that will fix, I don't know. But hoods are a funny old thing. They always have a few different little tricks to them. Another guy messaged me and he said, "Go on, sorry."
No, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, a guy messaged me from Scotland, and he was telling me he'd refitted his hood in the way that I'd done my hood, and he said that it was pulling tight on one side, and he couldn't work out why, and it was really loose on the other side. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. As long as you followed the steps, and mine went in nice and straight." He said, "It's very strange." Anyway, it turns out that when he sort of investigated further, he got his old hood out together, and the actual one of the bars that went over was completely bent. So it wasn't. So I don't know where that roof had come from, but it had an absolute mission to get it on. So just goes to show you, when you buy a second-hand part, you're expecting something like that just to fit, and you'd be struggling for hours and hours and not realise. And it's the good thing about having a second-hand hoodie is that you've got the original there to compare it against, and obviously pull bits off if you need them. I'm hoping in the future. I've kept my old hood. I've got it on top of my garage. I lifted it myself as well in the days when I was a bit stronger. But it's they're a hell of a heavy thing to lift. But you definitely there's a carrot cake to lift that. So I did mine on my own, and you don't really see it in the video because obviously the camera was going. But I'm standing in my Roadster with my feet behind the seats, and then obviously I've lifted the hood up and I'm watching the paintwork. But then of course you haven't got, because the door is so far away to step to, you can't make that step while holding that weight because you become unbalanced. So then I'm standing in this position where I've got the weight of the hood, it's getting heavier and heavier, and I can't move anywhere. So when they say use two people, please use two people, because I was just like, okay, I need to think on my feet here. And luckily I managed to put one corner of the hood on the top of the corner of the windscreen and sort of maneuver myself out. But yeah, it's I highly do not recommend doing it on your own. It's a mission. But hey ho. Right, guys, have we got anything else you want to add with the viewers, or
Dom, the last interview you did, there's a guy had a 10-inch TV screen,
big Wayne.
Oh,
Wayne's car, yeah,
that was pretty cool.
It's cheap as well.
That's I was surprised when you said the price of it. It sounded very cheap.
With the rear camera, front dash cam, the ways and all that stuff is just wicked. Proper 2022,
Apple CarPlay was on that as well, was it? Or
you could. He had an Android, so
okay,
we didn't actually check, but I'm sure he'll have both.
That does sound really.
Yeah, it was a cool bit of kit. Cool bit of kit. I probably wouldn't want to try and wire it because obviously you put all the loom in and then trying to push the stereo back in is fun because you can't take any sides off to get your hands in because it's all enclosed. So it's just.
And I think Wayne's coming on Sunday, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's coming down on Sunday. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it'd be good. That'd be good to see him because when we were at the Motorist, I didn't really get a chance to, because I think you were talking to him at the time, Chris. I didn't really get a chance to sort of speak to him and go through his car in detail. But I think he will quite happily say that his paintwork on that back corner needs a bit of work. So maybe I'll bring the Roadster and park next to him and we can talk about our woes together. I don't know, but it's one of those things. But someone's Dean Hicklings asked a question. I don't think we know the answer to it, but I'd say significantly less than silver ones. How many Nagaro Blue 3.2 Mark 1s are there? Cheers. Have we seen one?
So I've seen one. There is definitely one in existence, but I'm pretty sure there's another one. Obviously, that's only the ones we know of.
Yeah.
But I mean, Nagaro TTs in general, I think I've got a count of about 16 in total that I've ever seen or ever heard of.
I've only seen that I know of. I've only seen 3. And yours is one of them, Dom. Alex is another one. So there's and I saw another one at the Audi's in the Park. Not Audi's in the Park. Simply Audi.
Peters.
Yeah.
Patrick's.
Yeah. So that's.
That was Yeah. I know who that is.
Yeah.
And
I see your comment on the price of CCMs. Is that right? £30 for a coupe and 350 for a roadster. Is that the price?
350 is low balling as well. They're probably nearer 400.
Oh,
well, yeah, because obviously they all coupes are 10 a dozen, and roadsters, the likelihood is they failed. So
it's pushes the prices up.
Find a good one, yeah.
So really, if you can wait till the winter and pick up a roadster that needs a bit of bodywork doing, and hopefully it's got a good CCM, then that'd be the way to do it, because they'd probably be quite
CCM, cats, and some nice wheels, and that's 1,200.
Yeah, exactly.
I see the cats on the 225 seems to be going for stupid money, because I always see people on Facebook like trying to buy the cats. There's like one guy on there. He's literally just collects cats off TTs.
Yeah.
I would
320 last time I heard.
320.
Right. Yeah. He's selling them because people have stolen them off their cars, is it?
No, it's just platinum. Just what platinum's worth.
Yeah.
Like if you decat them, and then it's suddenly like a decat's 300 quid for a pipeworks, and you can sell your cat for 350. It's like,
ching ching.
Is that a reversible mod?
Not when you sell it.
Is that
if you cut your cat off?
Yeah. No, that's But surely, if you've decatted it, that then brings in the whole world of trying to get through the MOT, does it not? Does it make it a bit more?
It does.
Yeah. So
it does. Depends if you've got a sports cat or a friendly tester who sort of just keeps walking
I got a sports cat
until it's right.
Yeah.
You've got to get the sports cats quite hot though as well, especially with like 200 cell and stuff. I mean, I remember back in the day when I had an Astro VXR and I had a Remus exhaust system turbo back and I had 100 cell sports cat, and you had to get that bad boy proper hot to get that free.
Yeah,
you mean it's like the cat's just got to get him really hot, then yeah.
Yeah, I think that I've got a mate of mine who's an MOT tester, a genuine, not just a mate that does MOTs, but he is a mate of mine that's an MOT tester. He's just come out of the game actually, and he was the guy whose garage I took the blue one to when I first picked up to give it the once over, get on the ramp and have a look underneath it, and he obviously did a quick test, an emissions test on it, and obviously that O2 sensor that needed doing back in December that still needs doing. That I think is the reason why the emissions were failing on it. I'm pretty sure it was just all over the shop because of that. And he said, "Oh, you've got an engine warning light on." I was like, "No, I haven't." And he said, "Yeah, have a look on the dashboard," and it had, and it had only appeared in that test. So whether it was a convenient, oh look, this has just come on, it's going to cost you this much. I don't know, but so I definitely need to get it fixed before I have the MOT done, because I think it'll obviously fail on the MOT next time. I'd want to get it done. So
that's the sensor that fits in the exhaust, is it?
There's two. Yeah, there's
one at the top and one at the bottom.
Post-cat or pre-cat.
Yeah. And I don't know which one it is yet. I've looked on.
What is it? Bank 1 sensor 1 or bank 1 sensor 2?
I can tell you that. I can.
I assume
1 is pre, 2 is post.
Okay.
2 is post. Yeah. And
2's the easier one to get to.
2's the easier one to get to. Post
doesn't mean it will come out, but it's the easier one to get to.
Yeah.
Or if it does come out, it may also bring the threads out with it, and you might have to weld it back in again.
Oh no! I don't want to do the welding part.
It's just the problem is it's hot. If it sits in the exhaust for 80,000 miles doing that many heat cycles, and then it's steel versus stainless or vice versa, it's
fun.
Yeah.
So maybe it'd be a good idea to take them to the
Get it hot.
Get
it hot. Yeah, get a blowtorch, get it pink, yellow, and just.
Yeah. You can probably buy that map gas, Andy, and just do it that way.
You got to remember you're talking to it, guys.
you know your pit. That's
get your creme brulee torch from the kitchen.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is that Robbie can do it. Okay, she'll creme brulee out the exhaust for me. Okay, well, I'll see if I can do that then. Yeah, nice one. Okay, well, I'm going to shoot off now, I think, guys, because we've done an hour and 45 minutes, and I think we've probably held these people long enough. So I just want to say thanks to all you guys for jumping on tonight. Always a pleasure to talk to both of you two and Chris as well. And
nice one, mate.
I know that we talk plenty offline anyway about things going on. So I hope that and thanks for you guys to watching tonight. And make sure you can, if you can come along to Ockham on Sunday, make sure you do. You'll see us all there from 9. So we've also got Quattrophenia coming up on the 10th, and I'm sure there'll be other things that will be popping up on Facebook that'll be going on. And I'm sure the guys have probably got lots of videos coming out this week. Have you got a video coming out this week, Stephen? Saturday's video?
I do.
What's your video?
I haven't decided which one it's going to be.
All right, okay. Chris?
I've got that one tomorrow on the headlamps.
Okay. Dom, you've got your secret squirrel video for Wednesday, have you? Did I hear you say?
Yeah, I haven't filmed it yet, but
okay.
I'm just trying to fix everything on it.
Okay, I might do an episode of TT Meets TT that I filmed earlier in the summer this week that I've been promising to put out on. I did on Simon's Silver TT and Simon Jordan, the father and son team. They've got a couple of TT, so I might try and get that out this week, ready for the weekend. And
is Simon coming on Sunday?
I'm pretty sure he is. I'll drop him a message actually and see if he is coming. I hope he's coming. It'd be good to catch up with both of them. But I'm going to try and get that out this week. So yeah, but yeah, guys, thanks for joining in tonight. Thanks for being part of it as always. Much appreciate all your support on the channels. I'm sure we all do. So watch out for our videos this week and take care. See you all soon. Take care.
Bye.
See you later.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.